I'm on public Wi-Fi here, and it's a great day. Check it out. This place isn't even open, but I come here to use the Wi-Fi for my computer. But I wanted to make a comment about some of the persecution I go through in my life. Not complaining or anything, but this is what happens when you carry a certain type of presence when it comes to demons manifesting in other people. Because remember that story where Jesus was he actually crossed over with a boat over some water and got to this place, and as soon as he got there, two demonically possessed men came towards him out of the tombs. I read this story last night, and of course they are like, have you come to torment us, Jesus? Like, these demonic spirits know when you're in their territory. All right? And they're going to operate through people that aren't filling their vessel with the Holy Spirit. They might operate in animals. They might operate in different ways just by like the aura and the vibe around you. You might feel an overwhelming urge to get really drunk, or an overwhelming urge to just like go sleep with some prostitute, or some overwhelming urge to go gamble, or some overwhelming urge that's basically going to steal, kill, and destroy your life. But anyways, my point is, I've always had that overwhelming urge to speak the truth. I've made decisions in my past that weren't in my best interest, but I've also been going through some healing. But I just want to make a point right here how sometimes you'll get targeted and you'll be persecuted by people that are in authority positions and stuff because of the what you carry. Like, people that want to serve God are going to say things regardless of the consequences sometimes, because the truth is going to be more important than you getting certain financial increase, or the truth is going to be more important than what you have in this world, right? Because you know that the truth matters. So my point is basically, regarding this subject right now, I hope no one comes over here and distracts me because I'm trying to make a good point. But basically, here's an example. So I was out on the island near Peanut Island like last year or something like that, and I observe a lot of the patterns, and I noticed some of the police officers will ticket some of the people that rent the jet skis out. And at least I'm pretty sure they ticket them. But I felt like it was kind of wrong because they didn't necessarily know the speed zones and stuff. And there was one guy who was like racing out to the ocean, and maybe he started like a little too soon, but sometimes like they got to use their discretion, because they have boundaries set up in a way that kind of like entraps the people, and they like funnel money through the tickets and stuff. And of course that's injustice, you got to use discretion. And I remember putting myself at risk one time. I was snorkeling in the water, and I saw a cop pull over a guy on a jet ski. And he was a younger African-American guy. And I had a feeling the cop was going to give him a ticket. And I watched it go down, and I was like, bro, that cop does not need to give him a ticket. So I cuffed my hands and yelled. I'm like, hey, you're not going to give him a ticket, are you? And then the cop, bro, you could just see how, like, there must have been some kind of spirit on him. He was just so offended that I would say something so absurd, right? And, of course, he immediately goes into his mindset of, like, how can I harm this man that just yelled at me? He's like, I could see it, and I could just see it in his posture, like how he's processing things. He's like, oh, yeah, dive flag. I'll be over there in a minute. Where's your dive flag? And technically, you don't even have to have a dive flag I'm pretty sure illegally, you don't have to have a dive flag when you have like the snorkel piece not attached. When you have just the goggles, you technically don't have to have a dive flag. I think I figured that out. But my point is, like, I was just looking out for the guy on the jet ski, and I didn't harass the cop. I just asked him a question. And so just the fact, I'm putting myself at risk at saying things like that, but I'm like trying to stand up for what's right. And these are examples of what not being a coward is. These are examples, just small examples. And so my point is, later, that same cop, I'm not going to name his name, I'm sure God's moved on his life since then, but I was sitting at the head of the inlet in my unregistered dinghy, and he was like going out to the ocean. This was like a week later, or a few days later or something, and I gave him the peace sign, like genuinely, not sarcastically, and he does a whole U-turn and gives me a ticket, and it was the same cop. that I cuffed my hands and said, hey, you're not going to give that other guy a ticket too. So, this is just one little example of how sometimes when you speak your mind towards people in authority, you're going to get backlash. When you draw more attention in the world, sometimes people are going to use their privileges to harm you and attack you. And sometimes it's demons operating in them and they don't realize it. And so this is just a small example of different subtle ways like demonic forces and evil will try to come at the light, if that makes sense. But not a big deal. This happened a long time ago. Not a big deal at all. I could break down a lot of different encounters. But anyways, have a great day.